Welcome to Screen Crush, I'm Ryan Erie. Alright, so to state the obvious, this Star-Lord is amazing. What a great episode of What If, such an excellent execution of an amazing concept. But look, all that praise aside, the biggest question from the episode is, how did T'Challa convince Thanos to give up his life's ambition of decimating half the life in the universe? I mean, seriously, how? Fan theory, T'Challa used the Mind Stone on Thanos. Okay, I'm just joking on that one. No, the reason why T'Challa was able to change Thanos' mind is because he presented the Mad Titan with the perfect argument.
T'Challa here showed me there was more than one way to reallocate the universe's resources.
Sometimes the best weapon in your arsenal is just a good argument.
But what does that mean? How could anyone convince Thanos that he's wrong? This is Thanos we're talking about. So let's try and answer the question, how did T'Challa change Thanos' mind?
Although I still assert my plan was not without its merits.
Thanos' change of heart is mostly played for laughs during the episode, but actually this is huge. The Mad Titan spent decades killing half of every civilization he came across to achieve his cosmic balance. The Thanos we know didn't let anything stand in the way of his obsessive pursuit for balance. Thanos decided to collect the Infinity Stones to achieve his mission. When he was faced with the terrible decision of sacrificing his own daughter to obtain the Soul Stone, he threw her off the cliff like bad milk into a dumpster. No one could stand between him and his life's work, not even his favorite daughter. Yet, somehow, in this parallel universe, T'Challa convinced Thanos to abandon his mission. How? Well, the obvious answer is that it's T'Challa.
Oh, Star-Lord! I'm a huge fan of your work!
He's awesome in any universe. I mean, the guy is oozing with charisma. He's a badass and so cool. I love Black Panther, but I gotta say, Marvel really outdid themselves with this new Star-Lord. T'Challa is a natural-born leader. He was raised by a lot of smart people, and he himself is brilliant, skilled, and capable. He's a space Robin Hood and galactic hero.
This is the Star-Lord, legendary outlaw, steals from the powerful and gives to the powerless.
With his Ravagers, who are pretty much the new Guardians of the Galaxy, he's become the single greatest hero in the universe. T'Challa is the man with a plan, and even when things go wrong, he's so cunning that he can always find an opening. This was showcased in his clash with the Collector, as T'Challa formulates a multi-layered plan to outsmart the Collector, allow himself to get captured, and then keep the Collector busy to give Nebula the opening to steal the Embers of Genesis.
Oh, so all of this has been a triple cross? What? Classic Star-Lord.
So that means that when T'Challa faced Thanos, he didn't go into it blindly. But as awesome as he is, that still doesn't explain how he was able to show Thanos that there's a better way to reallocate the universe's resources. Okay, so I have to talk about why it's so hard to change Thanos' mind, so I'm going to spend a few minutes on that, but trust me, it only makes T'Challa's achievement so much more impressive. Thanos is an obsessive guy. We all know that. He warned his people about their impending doom, but they didn't listen, and Thanos watched them all die. So since then, he went around balancing the universe. People called him mad, a genocidal maniac, a murderer, someone who's beyond reason. But obsession isn't a choice. It's something that's engraved within people's habits over time. It transforms into a ritual. To tell someone like Thanos that he's wrong, that's not going to stop him. It's only going to create the opposite effect, a negative reaction. In Thanos' mind, he's right.
This universe is finite, its resources finite. If life is left unchecked, life will cease to exist.
And I think that despite being so sure about his motivation, Thanos has a compulsive need to justify himself.
I'm the only one who knows that. At least I'm the only one with the will to act on it.
And this happens in every conversation Thanos has. You can see the frustration on his face as he tried to explain his reasoning. For him, there's no other way to save the universe. There's no feasible alternative. And every time he justifies himself, he's met with a negative reaction.
I offered a solution.
Genocide.
But random, dispassionate, fair to rich and poor alike. They called me a madman.
Pretty sure it's still just genocide, big guy.
And I'm pretty sure it's efficient.
It brings him back to his worst traumas, back when he tried to save his own people, warning them about the impending doom of their planet. But they didn't listen to him, and they went extinct.
I'm not listening to you, you're crazy.
And once again, he's warning people about the universe's doom, but no one wants to listen to him.
I ignored my destiny once. I cannot do that again.
And when someone is so sure that he's unconditionally right, telling him that he's wrong isn't going to change his opinion, especially when it's a core belief that's embedded as deeply as Thanos's. But as T'Challa said,
Sometimes the best weapon in your arsenal is just a good argument.
Aye, aye, Commander.
When Thanos was confronted by the other heroes, no one offered him any alternatives.
He's saying it's our fault?
Instead, they saw him as mad and a threat that must be stopped. And yeah, look, that's all totally true. I'm not trying to justify Thanos here and say the Avengers were wrong. They did their best to stop him. But clearly, Star-Lord solved the Thanos problem with his wisdom. T'Challa was clever enough to confront Thanos before he went after the stones, something that the Avengers never even thought about doing. And speaking of, we have our own What If video on the channel, which asks this very question. What if the Avengers went after Thanos sooner? It's a really good video, if I do say so myself, so please take a moment to check it out because we really want to do more videos like that in the future.
Do it.
T'Challa had to first understand Thanos' driving force before approaching him, and the key here is Nebula.
Nebula.
Hey, Cha-Cha.
T'Challa and Nebula have a relationship, and they've known each other for some time. Nebula knows Thanos better than anyone in the universe, other than Gamora. And since Cha-Cha and Nebula are so close, she must have told him everything about her terrible dad.
Wait. You mean she's your offspring?
Adopted. It's a long story. I've been trying to get them into counseling.
So, with Nebula's help and information, T'Challa knew what Thanos was after, and he used his clever mind to give Mad Titan a solution to his problem. Unlike this reactionary Star-Lord, the new Star-Lord is able to be more calculated and crafty. He's able to see the big picture. This allows him to form the perfect plan for every situation and make sure that he comes out on top. Thanos doesn't want to rule the universe. He doesn't want to kill people for fun.
With all 6 stones, I could simply snap my fingers. They would all cease to exist. I call that mercy.
As warped as his logic is, it's compelling. He believes that his actions will save the galaxy and redeem his failure on Titan. And T'Challa can relate to this. He himself is doing all he can to make the universe a better place. And for most of his life, he believed that Wakanda was destroyed, making him the last of his people, just like Thanos.
You lost your home, and now you save everyone else's. That's the name of this tune, huh?
Something like that.
They have common ground, so they can relate to each other on some level. Thanos was sure that the only alternative to what he was doing were the Infinity Stones. T'Challa offered a solution that made sense to Thanos.
With 1 ounce, you can heal a dying planet in minutes. And with a payload the size we're talking...
We could feed billions of people on millions of worlds and eradicate hunger across the galaxy.
In fact, I think the Embers were T'Challa's original plan from the start. This is what he offered Thanos back when he changed his perspective. A chance to find the Embers and feed the universe. So Thanos must have seen T'Challa as a means to an end, a way to achieve his life's goal. And this also explains why Thanos joined forces with T'Challa and he's willing to follow him. Thanos didn't abandon his life's work, he's still obsessed with achieving it.
That sounds an awful lot like genocide.
No, because it's random.
Uh-huh.
And I might add, efficient.
But with a new perspective and an alternative that makes sense to him, he has no reservations about taking orders from T'Challa as long as this gets him closer to fulfilling his life's goal. And with the Embers of Genesis, Thanos can now finally rest easy.
Watch the sunrise on a grateful universe.
And hey, Thanos even got some redemption in the end by saving Nebula and being willing to sacrifice himself for her. But I am calling BS on one thing. No way Thanos' former minions can kick his ass like this.
This is bullshit.
He destroyed the Hulk with ease, so here's a little tinfoil hat theory. Thanos was only pretending to get his butt kicked to sell the idea that he's sacrificing himself for Nebula. This way she will save him and they can make up and be on better terms and all of that. Anyways, Thanos' change of heart is wonderful for the rest of the universe because the snap will never happen. But it might have much bigger ramifications for this universe. Based on this what if, it seems like Thanos has been rolling with Star-Lord for a while, meaning that maybe in this universe he never attacked Earth in 2012. Sure, it was Loki who led the invasion, but Thanos was behind it. So maybe with Thanos being the good guy now, the Avengers never assembled because there was no one to assemble against, no one to avenge. Though it's always possible that Loki invaded Earth by himself, something we could see in future episodes based on the trailers. And who knows, maybe that's why the Collector has Captain America's shield and Thor's hammer. Maybe something really bad happened on Earth in this what-if universe, and the Collector swept in and got himself some Avengers loot. I'm not sure what's worse than Thanos, but you never know how the timeline will play out once one thing changes. But with T'Challa returning to Wakanda with the Guardians, Earth will be a much safer place. At least until Ego consumes the whole universe. Hopefully Star-Lord will come to the rescue before it's too late. Speaking of, wow, poor Peter Quill. He's getting dunked on so hard in recent years. First, they make fat jokes about him.
You're one sandwich away from fat.
Yeah, right.
It's true. You have put on weight.
What?
then there's the whole punching Thanos at the worst possible moment thing. He was further made a total loser in Endgame.
So he's an idiot.
And T'Challa completely destroyed Peter in just one episode. And to make matters worse, Peter is working as a cleaner in a Dairy Queen. Disney, do you want to tell us something?
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
So anyways, this would explain how T'Challa was able to convince Thanos to change his perspective about genocide. What do you think? Do you agree that T'Challa's new arguments worked on Thanos? How do you think this universe is affected by these changes? Let me know in the comments or at me on Twitter. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. For Screen Crush, I'm Ryan Airy.